In the event of an emergency, please get up and use the emergency exit closest to you. Proceed to the right, down the stairs, and then go outside of the building. In the event of an emergency, please go to the nearest exit, proceed to the right, down the stairs, and outside of the building. In the event that there is an emergency, please exit to the nearest door, go to the right, down the stairs, and outside of the building.
Now, I love watching this because people looking at me like, he has really lost it. And that is true. I really have. But think about it. The first time, what happened? Pointed to the exits. Second time, don't know what he's pointing to. Third time, don't know what he's doing. What's the difference? Special needs kids receive information differently. If we want to have successful evacuation, we have to communicate with them effectively first. That's the first thing we have to do. We have to communicate. So, today, we want to offer you a tip. Think about this. Scary situation with special needs kids on bus, isn't it? Really scary. We want to offer you a tip. Training, information, and a plan. Training, information, and a plan. In order for us to facilitate, for us to get this, for us to continue the path of safety that we're already on, it's important to have these three elements: training, information, and a good plan. A well-prepared and a well-trained bus staff is the safest part of your school bus, isn't it? If you have a well-trained school bus staff, and I'll always use bus staff because it seems like too many syllables to go bus driver and bus attendant. So I'll just use the bus staff for this presentation if you don't mind. So I'll just use bus staff, that means both, bus drivers, bus attendants. Well-trained, well-prepared bus staff, if they're given the tools, they can make the decisions. Now, if we went around the room and there was an emergency situation, we may react differently. Some of us may be calm, some of us may be semi-calm, some of us may not be calm, some of us may do the total freak out. But if we have the good tools for decision making, that may make the difference. Training it all starts with training. It all starts with training. And a good place to start is make sure that our bus drivers and attendants are trained to do a good pre-trip. Please, don't take the message back to Charles County, but, when people don't do thorough pre-trips, we have wheels that run off of buses. That's not a good thing to happen. What else? And all other types of things can happen when there has not been a thorough pre-trip. So the first thing that is important is that the bus is safe. The bus is safe for transport. The bus is safe to transport students. And so if we can stop emergency situations before they happen with a good pre-trip, that's good. We're going to have enough dangers out on the road dealing with the motoring public. But if we have enough things in place with a good pre-trip, that's a good place to start. Not only that, some of the things we should check on a bus is not just the normal things we do in addition to that. Do I have a seatbelt cover? Is it rusty? Do I have an apparatus, a blanket or a slider if I need to take a kid out of a wheelchair and slide them? Do I have a written evacuation plan? And why is that important? Because I have to know how to evacuate the student. Now, if I drive the same bus every day, that's a good thing to have. Is my written evacuation plan up to date? These are all things that, these are just a few of the examples of some things that can happen. But training goes beyond what we do in our pre-service. Training goes beyond what we do in our behind the wheels. When we talk about special needs, who else should we get involved in all of this? We should get special ed teachers, the special ed department, school administration, whomever we can get. Why? Because we need to make sure that we put these students in the best position to be safely evacuated. The best position to be safely evacuated. Because the teachers may do something in classrooms that can spark something that says, in an emergency, the driver may say this, or the driver may say that. It is so important to involve so many people in the training process. How imperative is it for students to know what type of disabilities they have on the bus? You think that's important? Absolutely. Because you need to know the disability in order to make a good plan. And how many people just drive a bus for just one disability? There's only one disability on the bus. Yeah, that's not going to happen though, is it? You may have a kid that has a learning disability, autism, physical disability, hearing. They all may be on the same bus. Will they understand the information for evacuation the same way? No. And that's why training comes in. Training on the various types of disabilities that they may encounter, so that when they see a kid, they know a kid has autism, they know that that kid may be high function or low function, that kid may be having a need of a regimented routine. This is so important that they know the disability so that you can make a good plan. This information is always critical in every situation. Information also should be readily available in case there is a substitute on the bus. Could you imagine being a substitute driver? There's an emergency. And I don't know what this problem is or this problem. And I don't know what I'm dealing with. A good written plan can always take precedent and say that a good plan can make a difference, can make a big difference. When you're doing pre-service, I'm sure this already happens, because it is a part of pre-service that you practice and do evacuation. That's not about a DVD, but moving beyond that to actually do scenarios. Do scenarios. I taught a pre-service class one time. And you know, anybody here whenever you teach a class, no matter what kind of class it is, you always get the person who knows everything. So, I had this one person in this pre-service class, and this person, no matter what happened, she had the answer. She knew better. I wouldn't say that, I wouldn't do that, I wouldn't do the other. So it was bus evacuation time. I said, so you're probably prepared to do a bus evacuation. She says, no problem. I saw the video. Okay. We went out to the bus to do an evacuation. I whispered in the ear of one of the students that once you get to the front steps, you take off running. You just run. And the lady was very confident. Very confident. The kids were following her directions, and she was working with another student, and they had a plan, and everything was working, and all of a sudden the kid hits the other trainee goes and takes off running. And all of a sudden, a wonderful plan came. Wasn't prepared. Wasn't prepared. So we have to be prepared for the runners, have to be prepared for the kids that don't want to move out of their seats, have to be prepared for the kids that we're gonna have to physically move have to be prepared. All this is done in not only pre-service, but behind the wheel training. When we do behind the wheel training, it's important to say, hey, where would you evacuate a bus? At this place. Where would you take them? Where's your 100 feet? Where's your 200 feet? Where's your 300 feet? What would you do now? Behind the wheel training, have them pull over and say, okay, tell me how you're going to evacuate a bus. Information. Talking about the different types of disabilities. We're talking about the different disabilities that may be on a school bus. All of this is relevant information that may be needed by the school bus driver. You think that's important? Now, while we say it's important, is it easy? The special ed give us all the information we need whenever we need it. No. St. Mary's County, right?
No.
Doesn't happen there, huh? And that's so important. Let me tell you a story that happened right in our office that had nothing to do with bus evacuation, but it had to do with information. We had a Maryland School for the Deaf bus. Got to a stop. No one's there. That never happens in transportation, I'm sure. But this bus had another route, so they had nowhere else to take the kid, so they brought the kid to transportation. All right? Transportation is in one building. The main administration is in another building across the street. I was in the main administration building across the street. Bus drop the student off, student goes in. I come in not even 5 minutes later. I come in, one of the secretaries, we have the best secretaries anywhere in the world. She's giving the student a glass of water. Innocent enough. I panicked. I said, you didn't give her anything to eat, did you? And they go, no. Why? That particular student has difficulty swallowing food, has something with her swallowing mechanism, so she can't swallow. Food has to be done a certain way. She can have water sometimes. Information that I had, but the secretary didn't have it. So what if the bus staff didn't have certain information like that? When it's not even about food, it's about something else. What about triggers? I know it's easier said than done to say this information, but it is a process. Something that is very important and something that we should always work toward. I supervise non-public transportation, and I'm very fortunate that I have